All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We are live on Tea and Conversation. I am excited, like always, to have on with me some wonderful guests. Yes, Tea and Conversation live right here for you. Like, share, and subscribe. Yes, thank you so much. I am Candy Lowe, and I am your host of Tea and Conversation Live on this afternoon. And we have a lot of things going on coming up for Dr. Martin Luther King celebration, a wonderful weekend. A number of things have already started going on. And I'm excited about a really, really amazing event that will be happening on tomorrow. And we want everyone to be there, tune in, get educated on so many things that will be going on in reference to this amazing third annual Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King celebration. EFI Heritage Center will be putting on this amazing event on tomorrow, January 15th, 2025 already, and it will be at 6:30 p.m. and a lot more information to come. I have on with me Irwin Shell. He is the president and co-founder of Ife Heritage Center, Inc. And we have on with us the lovely, the beautiful Miss Kredell Petway. And I am really excited to hear her give us some nuggets, something to hold on to. I mentioned to her backstage that we wanted to talk a little bit about freedom riders. We have a lot of younger people that may not know what freedom riders are and was and how they played such a amazing part in our history throughout the years, as a matter of fact. Good morning, Mr. Irvin Shell. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Candy. I'm glad to be here with you and and Miss Petway, so that we
Yes.
could, Ife is about authentic education and
Mhm.
authentic history. So we can't get no more authentic than to have a freedom rider in the house. You can't
Yes.
get no better than that.
Yes, absolutely. And if I could just hear her beautiful voice one time before we get started, Miss Kredell Petway. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning to all. I am very well and very excited about the upcoming event and looking forward
Yes.
to tomorrow evening and to share some of my experiences um, with social justice.
Yes. And Mr. Irvin, give us a little bit about what we can expect on tomorrow evening at 6:30.
It's going to be great. This is our third annual Martin Luther King event. Um, Ife works to try to bring some culture and to South Hillsborough County. We're going to have Najee Monet. She's going to provide the live entertainment. We're going to have Alan Pettigrew. He's going to add the art. He's going to have an art display where it's going to be to purchase. You could purchase some new art starting off the new year. His style is magnificent. You may have seen him around town because he's everywhere. We're gonna break bread. We're gonna break some bread. We have to do that. We're gonna have Miss Petway as our keynote speaker, and we're gonna have Don Hampton. He's gonna come in and talk to us about his first cousin, Fred Hampton. And what we want to highlight
Mhm.
with Fred is that he was a organizer, a community organizer, and that is so important in the community to make any change to make things happen around yourself. You have to plan, you got to organize, and you have to think bigger than yourself. So it's going to be great.
Yes. Yes. And when you say
Actually,
South
it's also going
County,
to be at the beautiful. Mhm.
yeah, when you say South
Go
County,
ahead.
where is that? South County. Where is South County?
Uh, so, South County is Waimama, Ruskin, Riverview, Apollo Beach, that area there. Uh, People don't like to come out. The event is going to be in Riverview at the Wentham Barn. Right in Riverview is going to start at the doors are going to open at 6, and the action is going to start at 6:30. We have to bring people have a we're trying to change the identity of South County. South
Mhm.
County has been decided as or been treated as just rural old people, uh, and things like that. But South County is changing, and we want to bring some entertainment, some culture, be an economic impact to the area. So look
Mhm.
for changes. Look for IFE. We're putting on all kind of events and all kind of training.
Mhm. Awesome. And who will be the MC for the program?
Oh, that guy. We're gonna have Jarvis Alameen. He's gonna be our MC, keeping the place live and keeping people on point and on schedule. You know, he's a joy to hear and be around. He's very energetic. So I always want to have Jarvis somewhere in the house or somewhere in my ear, even in preparation. So yeah, Jarvis is going to be emceeing the event. We have Mario Johnson. He's going to be providing all the audio. We have who else we gonna have there? We got some special vendor partners. We're gonna have Divine Goddess Queen Mother Brenda Allen of African Learning Temple. We're gonna have she's gonna be displaying some of her history. We're gonna have Ursula Odom, Ursula's History Shop. She's gonna be talking about showing her present history in the books that she has written, and we're gonna have the famous Robin Donaldson. She just got award Presidential Achievement Award just in Clearwater a couple of days ago. And she's going to be highlighting a book about the life and legend of Dr. Gladys West. She was featured in the movie Hidden Figures. If you remember the lady
Mhm.
that went in the back and programmed the brand new IBM machine where the guys couldn't do it. That's who Miss Dr. Gladys West was, and she trained the other women to program. So yeah, she has a book, and so she's going to be promoting and explaining that book. So we got all this good history going on, and that's the mission and vision of Ife Heritage Center. We're gonna keep doing that. We're gonna have um, a gospel concert coming up, and some other trainings and things. So keep your eye out for South County. Some things are gonna be going on except for picking fruit. We we're gonna be doing more than picking fruit, and we're gonna be more than riding around in golf carts. So it's gonna be some action going on. The county's already has a new design for a downtown situation. We just got got the high school campus is being named um, after one of the legendary people of Waimama, Miss Morgan. So now you're gonna have a brand new Morgan High School named
Wow.
after Miss Morgan. So it's gonna be great. Some
Yes,
things are
yes,
going on. Thank you,
yes,
Latoya. Thank you, Latoya.
absolutely. She definitely put in the work, and we are excited, excited, excited. And now I would love, love, love to hear from the special guest and the speaker for this amazing event, Miss Kredell Petway. She was a freedom rider. She's a FAMU alumni. We know that we have a lot of FAMU alumni in the state of Florida, definitely in the Hillsborough County area. And she, in
Yes.
my mind, is legend after reading so many, so many, so many articles and magazines that she's been in and awards that she's achieved and speaking engagements throughout the South that I was able to um, uh, educate myself on. So good morning, and how are you doing, Miss Kredell, Petway, I know you're excited about this event as well.
I am very excited, and I was um, very surprised to have been chosen as a keynote speaker for this event. And you asked about Freedom Riders and what they were and who they were. The Freedom Riders were about 436 students and clergy and other adults who participated in the protest for social justice in during the spring and summer of 1961. Much of it was under the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee that started in Nashville under the leadership of Diane Nash. And a lot of the students were from Tennessee State, Howard, and Fisk in that area.
Mm,
Now, and most of the Freedom Riders also were by bus, train.
mm,
And the thing that is unique about the Freedom Ride that I participated in is that we flew to test the Jim Crow terminals. That's air
mm,
terminals that were not serving blacks in their cafeterias or their
mm,
lunch counters. And as a matter of fact, when we flew from Montgomery, Alabama to Jackson, Mississippi, they had locked the terminal in Jackson, Mississippi, and we were immediately arrested. Part of the uniqueness is that most of the time people ask, how did I get involved? Well,
mhm,
I got involved out of obedience. My dad,
mhm,
Reverend Matthew Petway, was a very staunch community activist, civil rights,
mhm,
and before the latest movement actually started. And he was interested in us participating and really made us ashamed that we had not already come forth. Now, I had
mhm,
worked with the Montgomery Improvement Association, which was an organization under the umbrella of the NAACP. At one
mhm,
point, they took the NAACP's charter because they would not give up their list of donors and members. So the Montgomery Improvement Association was to fill in the gap for the NAACP. My
mhm,
dad knew Dr. King, and the other part that is fascinating for me is that Dr. King, Reverend Ralph Abernathy, and my dad strategized and planned the Freedom Ride. The Freedom Ride was supposedly established or started for just as a family on vacation. So our group was very small. There were six of us. There was Cecil Thomas with his son Stephen and his son's friend. I don't remember the friend's name. Cecil Thomas was a white graduate student from Ohio
mhm,
State University. Then my dad, my younger brother, and I were three family members who participated in the ride. Now, how that came about, my dad had been, my dad and my brother both had attended the Mont Eagle School for Nonviolent Training. I had not. So after my dad gave us this long lecture about us not being more active. Now I had been active, but I was working in the office doing clerical duties on break from school. So he said, "Well, don't you think it's about time you do something else?" And I said, "Something else like what?" So he and Dr. King and Reverend Ralph Abernathy had a meeting one day. My dad came home and being a lecturer, the philosopher that he was, um, he lectured on us on not being more active and how ashamed that we should be and how ashamed that he was. So With it being a family style event, Dr. King's children were not old enough to go, even with him. And I don't remember at that
Mhm.
time Reverend Abernathy's children. But anyway, my dad had the oldest children. So
Mhm.
after his lecture, he asked us a litany of questions about what would we do. You know, he had already explained, and we already knew that this was a nonviolent movement, a nonviolent protest. So he asked each of us, what would we do in different scenarios and what our behavior and response would be. Now, my
Mhm.
younger brother and I gave all the right answers. Well, now the older brother did not. He told him, "You cannot go. You will get us killed." The next day, we were
Mm.
on a plane from Montgomery to Jackson and were immediately arrested after deplaning. We were escorted from the plane uh, by Hines County finest. We were not
Mm.
allowed to drink from the water fountain, but what my dad insisted on us uh, doing so. So, acting like the 2-year-old, what he did, I did. So, the law enforcement person, I think the sheriff, so she said, "I told you that you all could not drink from the fountain." So my dad said, "Well, it's hot. They didn't let us in. We couldn't get a snack. Now we can't have water."
Wow.
So anyway, they kind of tightened their grip on our arms and
Mhm.
led us to the waiting paddy wagon that was already full of students from other places, and we were taken to
Wow.
Hines County Jail and spent 3 days there.
Mm.
But it was all a worthwhile event. And what I would like to impress upon, well, not just young people, but maybe some seasoned people, that it was not just a ride for the sake of riding and for desegregation. It was for
Mhm.
desegregation, social justice, and equality in all
Mhm.
things um, that we were supposed to be entitled to. Even just human rights were often denied. But with that, um, although it opened up your hotels, your eateries, your
Mhm.
schools, um, and I wanted, just say to the young people, it was not just so you could go to your favorite fast food place or other places or to the movies. It was about being treated as human beings and about being equal and having them fulfill the legislation that was on the book and our God granted rights that we were all created equal, but not treated equal. Also, when I was growing up, we, if you're going to junior high school, we walked past a white school every day while they rode buses to the school.
Mm.
Now, our school, let's see, I think when I was about 14, they opened a new senior high school. Well, that school, um, for most of us, was in walking distance. Well,
Mhm.
walking distance or not, you walked or let somebody, nice enough pick you up and give you a ride to school. But
Yeah.
it was inequities such as that had been suffered by most of us.
Mhm.
And education is a very important part, in fact, the most important part of our protest for social justice. Because first you need to be grounded educationally
Mhm.
before you can proceed to do um, most things. The other piece is that with the Freedom Ride, being 400 and I think it's 436 male and
Wow.
female, black and white, And part of Mr. Irvin, part of Mr. Shell's um, blurb on his handout is about unity in the community. And you
Yes.
cannot do anything without unification. People have to be grounded, they have to be
Yes.
unified and committed to perform whatever task is at hand. And now
Mm-hmm.
um, we often take it for granted. Many of us fell asleep at the wheel after a few things were accomplished. But now it is
Mm-hmm.
extremely important that we are focused on what is happening today and that our voting rights are being attempted to be um, somewhat dismantled
Mm-hmm.
and other acts of social justice, just economically oppressing to those of us in certain economic status.
Mm-hmm. Miss
Mm-hmm.
Miss Petway,
Yeah.
are are there any of those freedom riders that you still have relationships with, that you still talk to? Are there any role models that are still out there that was a part of the movement when you were there?
Yes, uh, and I kind of am reticent about naming people because I'm bound to forget somebody. Um, Reverend Dr. Bernard Lafayette, who is a Tampa native, was one of the trainers for not in the nonviolent um, school. There's Hank Thomas, who was on the bus that was bombed. He lives in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Um, mm, there's one freedom rider who was, I think, the youngest, Hezekiah Watkins, and
Mm,
I don't want to give him the wrong title, but I think he is director of the museum in Jackson, Mississippi. That was
okay.
recently opened just a few years ago. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there's MacArthur Cotton in Kosciuszko, Mississippi, who was in the documentary, and I forget the title of it, that was just released a very few months ago. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't get the numbers, but for the documentary,
Mm-hmm.
uh, there
Yeah.
are. Mm, I know we. Oh, Carol Ruth
Don't
Silver.
worry. Save some for the event. Save some of this action for the event.
Save for the event.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But I grew up in a home where prejudice was never anything that was discussed or taught, and
Mm-hmm.
we were just always taught to be obedient. And something
Mm-hmm.
else that was interesting that I thought about as I grew older, and I am the oldest of six, and three are now, let's see, two are now deceased.
Mm-hmm.
But at any rate, I thought my mom just didn't want to take six kids shopping, and which I was glad because I didn't want to go with my five siblings. She used to draw our feet on cardboard or construction paper to go and shop
Mm-hmm.
for our shoes. She never explained why, and I just presumed that it was because of segregation and how we might have been treated. And I
Yes.
know, even though that's been some, for me, some 70 years ago, but I find that we still experience um, certain acts, however subtle, of
Mm-hmm.
segregation in being seated in restaurants and sometimes being passed over um, to be served, while shopping. So these
Yes,
are
ma'am.
things that, we want to be mindful of and to
Mm-hmm.
reconcile and not
Yes.
divide. So I will
Hmm. Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
say
Mm-hmm.
for tomorrow, is that correct?
Yes.
If there are any other questions that you
Tomorrow
have, Ms.
is,
Bill, I'll be glad to answer.
yes, ma'am.
Mm.
Well, tomorrow is the big day for the third annual Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. Tomorrow, January 2025. It's going to be at 6:30 p.m. at Winthrop Barnes Theater, 11349 Bloomingdale Avenue, Riverview. And Mr. Irvin Shell, he's a co-founder, president of Ife Heritage Center, Inc. And he is inviting everyone out for this amazing event in South County that we are all growing together, that beautiful area in South County. And everyone is invited. The seats are only $30. Only $30 to get amazing history, entertainment, music, art, and abroad. Wonderful food, I'm sure. If there's anything else you would like to add, Mr. Irwin, that I may have missed for this amazing event tomorrow evening, 6:30. I know you have a number of people lined up to participate. You gave us a few of them as well. I know all of the ones that are going to be there. I look forward to sticking my head in the door as well at this amazing event that you and so many others, because it takes a lot of people to put on an event like this. So I know that you've been diligently to make it happen. So if there's anything that we did not add to this, to make sure that people are there and supporting this amazing event.
Well, we covered most of it, but one of the other things is uh, uh, Queen Brenda. She says she's going to bring her bus. She's been
Mhm.
designing her bus because it's going to be a library and maintain her stuff. So that'll be a good thing to see as it progress. And very
Yes.
educational. And I just can't, we know Ursula. She's full of history. We know her, but I I'm excited about talking with Robin and Robin Johnson and talk about this new book about Dr. Gladys West. We have to just and the other thing, I just learned something. That was something about, drawing your feet out on some art paper because they didn't want black people's feet on this, that, and the other. That was see authentic history. You wouldn't have got that nowhere else, unless it was a person that was right there, and that's the power. That is the power of authentic history. We got to tell our story. We can't rely on other people to tell our story accurately. They never have, and don't expect it to happen anytime soon. So come on out, stick with us. It's gonna always be a quality experience. It's gonna be some great education. You're gonna be around some beautiful people uh, in a beautiful atmosphere. So come on out. It's gonna be great.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And again, you heard it first here on Tea and Conversation Live. It is the third annual Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration, and it is on tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Winthrop Barn Theater. And if you need any more information, you can give them a call at 813-326-6075. And thank you guys for jumping on with me and talking about this amazing event. You all have a great rest of the evening. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
very
us.
much, Candy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.